Okay, so today's video, we have Mico Silver, and the cool thing about Mico is I don't know too much about your history and things of that nature. That's why we're on this call. But the cool thing is I really appreciated the way you reached out via LinkedIn. We got some talks going as far as digital ads. I know you're involved with Toyota OEM team, so on and so forth. And I really appreciate the way you approached it as far as the interview process and how you asked some questions regarding to really serve the dealers that you represent and that you talk to. And I love a fellow collaborator, especially in the space. I don't think we see enough. I don't think we see enough. So I appreciate that a lot. So I just wanted to get to know you a little bit and let the audience really get to know you as well. Could you, Mico, describe a little bit about, your background for the listeners here and what you do and we'll start there. How's that?
Sure. So I'm come from car sales. I went into car sales from phone sales around 2006. Quickly got into internet sales. Just it was kind of like growing at the time, and I found that my personality and style and comfort level with technology allows for better success in that area. A few jobs here and there on the sales manager, was an inner director, and then gradually I went through finance. I became a GSM at a Nissan Infinity dealer, and after that, for family reasons, I moved to Shift Digital, and right now I'm a digital operations consultant with Shift Digital. I'm on the TM&A Toyota team in San Francisco. And Shift Digital, we cover a lot of different manufacturers. We have different titles. For some teams, it's marketing expert. Sometimes it's a data analyst. On our team, it's kind of like all encompassing in one. And digital um, consultant covers everything from getting customers to your website all the way through to selling them a car and following up and keeping them. So it involves from SEO to marketing to selling the cars online and usually using digital tools to using tools such as equity mining to just keep your business so you don't have to, spin your wheels a lot. And just one another thing, what was important in my career and still is important, I early, I don't remember the year, but I think I got on YouTube right after YouTube got sold to Google, if not before that. And quickly I saw the potential in it. I still run a couple of channels. I still have my original channel on with the channel I used to sell cars.
Mm.
And this is one area of expertise that's always helped me. And this is, one of the reasons we're on video right now, right? Because I learned that no matter how uncomfortable you are with being on video, you just have to do it. You just have to get through it, and because it pays off immensely.
It makes you sharper too in person, on in-person meetings and things like that. Do you find that too?
Probably. I really never had a problem with that because I have a military background. So from the age of 20, I had to stand in front of from a squad of 10 people up to 180 people and give them instructions and lectures and motivation speeches. So that wasn't a problem for me. But yeah, I'm sure it helps.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate what I took from what you said. I appreciate the way you recognize YouTube as a medium, especially when ABC Company acquired it. I mean, it's the platform is the second largest search engine in the world, largely considered, and I don't think a lot of people view it that way. And the way it's tied into Google, I mean, YouTube videos show up on the search results so much, so you can have all these really interesting queries and in the space of AI, it's a great way to do it. So I respect it. I respect the reaching out, trying to have different interviews. in the automotive industry, and I think that's great. I think that's great. How, I have to ask, how did you, because it's not always, kind of brings me back to my V-Auto Cox days, because I worked for V-Auto for a period of time. Um, how did you go from the retail end up to the digital? I know you described it a little bit with personal circumstances and things like that. And I guess more so my question is, what did you have to gear yourself to change it from the retail space to now where you're at, being a operations consultant for arguably the largest OEM digital provider? What did you really have to go through to change, and what does that mean to you?
Well, it is a different environment. It's different mentality. Working at a dealership it's kind of like a Wild West a little bit versus corporate world where just different mentality, different pace, different attitude. At a dealership environment, it's much more straight and direct and could be confrontational at times. While working from the outside, there's a little bit of finesse required in approaching subjects, right? Even though I'm a consultant, I cannot just go to a dealer and tell them, okay, here's where you suck and you have to change these things. They're just, it rarely works, and nobody's going to listen to you no matter how much experience you bring to it. So yeah, that's probably part of it. And another part is just things move slower. I guess it ties to, just the pace is different, but things move slower. Responding to emails, and that kind of like, again, corporate world, which versus digital versus dealership world, it doesn't really connect well, because if I send an email to Toyota region, I can expect a polite response within a few days. Within 2 days is standard, right? 2 business days. I can send something to a dealership, and 80% of the time I totally expect to be ignored, and another 15% of the time it'll be like all caps weird response that was typed on the phone while in the car driving somewhere. So yeah, just a little bit different mentality. You just have to adjust to it.
Right. Yeah. And it's good that you have the unique blend of the in-store experience plus the digital background to be able to bridge the gap, because not everybody has that. Now, what is your, and I know you probably can't get too much into it, but I'm really curious on what your day-to-day looks like as, a digital operations consultant for, one of the largest digital providers, especially on an OEM level. What does that look like for you on anything that you're able to elaborate on?
Well, there are a few things to it, a few components. One, probably the larger part, and things what I like the most is actual in-person training. So I do offer it. It's part of what we offer to the client. I can go to a dealership. I can meet with one new representative, or I can meet with the whole team. And I have a few preset lectures that I can run, with prepared with PowerPoint, with examples, with role play. That again, training starts from the digital side, and we start with basics, such things like, what's the good first response? What do you do when the lead comes in, right? What's the best structure? Going into phone skills, transferring from digital to in person. How do we take a lead and have a proper phone conversation that increase the chances of an appointment that shows up? And training on things like equity mining, lease conversion, video, of course, train and coach people on how to make good videos, and just encourage and help them. So that's a big part. Another big part is analytics, data analytics. Toyota has Ship Digital, in partnership with a lot of providers. There's a huge platform. It's lead view. It's accessible to dealers, but we have a little bit of different view, and we can look into a dealer and see how they compare to other dealers, to the nation, and things like how many leads they get, what's the conversion of the website, how do they convert these leads into appointments, how do they close those appointments. So there's a lot of data that we can access, analyze, and make recommendations based on that. And then we have specific tailored consultations for dealers that could be anything from the web presence, how they appear in searches, mystery shop, is their Google business profile set up correctly, is their website open to AI searches, and then we drill down and do actual inspection of the website UX. Is it friendly? Is it easy to navigate? Is it up to standards? What is it like? The CTA is a big thing, right? What's the layout of the website? Things like that. So yeah, that's like the big part of it. And then there are specific categories, which could be like, how do you recruit the best people for digital team, right? For internet sales. That's an interesting conversation that a lot of dealers don't even think about that. Yeah. Does that answer? Is that
Yeah,
good?
I think it gives a
Okay.
nice full perspective, and because you have a broad range of situations, it reminds me. I was just in one of my primary auto groups in their Mercedes store the other day, and they were talking about internet teams and things like that, and how we can execute better. So it really resonates. Um, you know, with Shift Digital, what do you see? This is a two-part question, and I'd like to get the Shift Digital part of it answered first. What do you see as a large occupier of that OEM digital space? What do you think their number one focus is from your viewpoint that, they're focusing on moving into the future? What's their kind of, and AI is going to be thrown around, I know that. But if you could get a little more specific on that without, you know, getting into too much. Again, I want to keep it as open as possible. But if you could, talk about what you think their big focus is, or where they see things, I'd be very curious on that.
Well, I would say, just as a generic answer, the focus is optimizing connection between consumers to the businesses, not just car dealers. Shift Digital works with in the hotel industry, hospitality, and they're open to other businesses as well. But that's the main focus, and that's the expertise where Shift Digital started. They build those platforms that connect the leads that come in to the dealer, to the CRM, right? Like nobody really thinks about it. Like how does the lead go from the website to the CRM in the right format, right?
Right.
When it started, it was just an email. And there are still dealers that just get their leads as an email and then they have to deal with it somehow. So that connectivity. And then there's the intelligence part of it that's just getting smarter and more efficient that goes into things like the CDP, consumer data platforms, which is intelligent, like you said, AI. So AI definitely will be a part of it, but approach to what does the dealer do with the data that they already have? Because every dealer has thousands of customers, right? You're in business for 5 years. You have all the service customers. That's your data, right? These are your customers. How do you manage it? So something like a CDP, a proper consumer data platform, will be able to predict when you, David, will be thinking about a new car, when you will be thinking about going in for service and being proactive and offering you and finding you where you are, right? Not waiting for you to connect and find a dealership, but maybe going to your favorite social platform or LinkedIn and saying to you, or targeted advertising something about, it's time for service. So I think this is where things are going. But again, in one word, it's just removing the friction, making it easy for customers and businesses to find each other at the right time, at the right place.
Makes sense. Now, what do you see as the number one thing to focus on? Because you have your hands in digital, but you also have the very good and solid firsthand experience with being in the store, management, all the pitfalls, the craziness, so on and so forth. What do you think the number one thing to take away from is moving forward into the future, given your unique perspective? And I wanted to ask you it in that way because I would assume maybe it's different than how Shift thinks, or maybe it's the same. I'm not sure, but it's more centralized for you. What do you think is the most important factor to focus on moving forward?
Are you asking for dealers or
Yeah,
for OEMs? Okay.
dealers.
From what I've seen and just my feel is that um, the big problem right now is the incentive structure
Hmm.
at dealerships. So specifically pay plans, compensation plans, because dealers say things like, well, we want great service, we want volume, we want more social media. But then you look at the pay plan, and pay plan um, incentivize gross, right? Instead of units, instead of anything else. So salespeople feel like, okay, this is my opportunity. This is a used car. I want to sell this used car because that's how I'm going to make my paycheck. 10 new cars are not going to pay anything for me. I mean, they're going to pay minis or whatever. It's just not enough. So the approach to the pay structure is goes against what consumers want, what manufacturers want, and what even dealers sometimes say they want, right? They will say they want volume, they want the market share, and then the pay plan, like, okay, sell 20 cars and you get $500. Well, it's not really worth it, not in this environment, because another thing, that the pay has been erased for salespeople. I started almost 20 years ago, and the mini was 175. What is the mini commission right now? Well, it's maybe 200, right? That's at the most. I've seen when it's 100. So everything doubled in price. Inflation is a fact of life, but the pay does not keep up with that. And then another part of it is this, there's a big friction with the traditional model of F&I office, where again, the pay structure goes against what dealers say they want. They want perfect CSI scores, but they literally pay nothing to the finance manager for just doing the paperwork. The finance manager will not get paid whatsoever unless they sell something.
Yeah, sure.
So it just right. So there, that's the conflict. So this is, I think, something that dealers are gonna start to have think about. And once you fix this, once you incentivize salespeople properly to do their own content marketing, then this problem will fix itself. And you won't have to, run after them and get extra providers, so they somehow will fix the lack of social media content for the dealership.
Interesting. Yeah. It's very interesting. I sat in a meeting where they talked specifically about process for F&I pen. And, following the process is huge. But you're correct. It's all geared towards raising that number. And that's going to be hard for small business owners because that's what dealers are, right? They're technically small business, small to medium sized business owners, depending upon how many stores or what the size of the group is. That's going to be hard for them to wrap their head around to incentivize different. So, interesting perspective. Thank you. One of my final questions would be, you came across myself on LinkedIn and saw YouTube with Google Ads marketing and digital advertising. What do you think would be the number one item in your perspective that, you would, I don't want to say tell me to focus on, but, where I could or people like myself and my team can provide value for stores? What would be the number one piece that you would say, you know what, you really should help provide value this way? That would lead to a lot more success. And that could be from a dealer standpoint, an OEM standpoint, whatever. I want to give that scope up to you.
Well, I think it'll be the same as like when we had our conversation last week, to approach it to find something that's simple and actionable. Because, yeah, I can present a dealer with a paper and PowerPoint on things they need to do this year, and they're going to say thank you, and just they're going to get busy with something else. Uh, the reality of life for dealers is that they're busy, they are overworked. I'm talking about management, right? Sales management team. They have a lot of things. They have same issue that nobody wants to hire another sales manager because it's another 150,000 for the owner. So the existing manager have to carry extra work. The value would be that what might get through is something actionable, easy steps, right? Something like Google Business Profile. What do you do? And show them like quick video. This is how you do that. These are the steps. If you tell them, okay, you have to have the appointment set up on Google page. They're like, okay, that sounds great. I'm busy. I don't even know what my login is. But if you have the steps, it this will be the value. And you can try a lot of different things. As you probably know, with video and with content, like my approach is I'm just gonna throw at the wall as many things as possible,
Yep.
and I'm never gonna know what's gonna stick. So, for example, on my uh, coaching YouTube channel, I do a lot of videos on any subject that I can find. Well, the videos that are most popular turn out to be how to create a signature in Vin Solutions.
Yeah, right.
That's it, right? The
Right.
simplest thing that I would think, well, Vin Solutions should have it covered, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure Vin Solutions will have a simple instructions. Apparently not. Apparently, hundreds of people were looking for that and still search for it. And it's for Vin Solutions, it's for Dealer Socket, it's for Drive Centric. I was able to make videos for those. How to make template in Vin Solutions. Apparently, it's difficult, right? So again, and it was a short video. It was just like follow the screen. This is what you do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. That's it.
yeah.
So that, things like that, I'm guessing this is what dealers would respond and react to more positively.
Well, your guess is 100% correct, and I'm going to tell you why. The number one video on my channel with, 500 plus videos at this point in time is the following: Google Ads for car dealers explained in 5 minutes. That's it.
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
continues to be throughout. I'm just looking at my analytics now because you hit on that point and I thought about it. It just continues to be. I made it 3 years ago, but it brings in a lot of views consistently. I probably need to update it because a lot has changed. But the short stuff, because everybody has a lot less time than they have ever had before. All these different distractions. So what can you do in the short amount of time to provide the most amount of value? And that's where my expression, small hinge that swings the big door. What's the little tweak? Just like you said, to the website. We can make all these infinite changes to a website, dealer website. What's the one little one that we can just beep, and that's going to make the biggest difference? So I'll take that and run with it. I appreciate it.
All right.
Anything else you want to talk about, or anything else that comes to mind? But yeah,
Well, just going back to videos, I think a couple of things about videos that I've learned and are really important. One is make it easier for everybody to do content. And by make it easier, I mean encourage them, don't question them. And I'm talking like if you're a dealer or OEM or somebody, and if you believe in what you and I are saying, that more videos will help your SEO for free, right? I mean, it's not 100% free, but it's definitely easier because Google's going to want to promote things that are already on their platform versus you paying for things and trying to fight other dealers for the same ad space. So if you believe that that's true, then make it easy for your salespeople. Uh, just let them run with it. Don't question them. And for those that are making the videos for salespeople or whoever the creator is, just do it. Don't worry about it not looking good. Don't worry about that people don't see it, because if nobody sees it, then you don't have What's the harm in that, right? You tried something, it's kind of there, no big deal. One thing I learned, and it was like early in my sales career, I was reading from tips from somebody from like literally from 70s, right? Tips on how to become a great salesperson. And it was before videos. They were talking about newsletters. Back in the day, before video and internet, salespeople, good salespeople would have their own newsletters that they will mail to their customers, right? And one of the tips was, whoever did this, I forgot, of course, the name. One of the tips was is don't make it pretty and make it the most expensive and the best looking newsletter. It actually is better when it's printed at home and it's a little bit out of line and it's not, glossy because this comes off as real.
Real.
And I use the same approach in videos. My videos, I don't edit them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't edit them for two reasons. One is I'm lazy to learn how to do that. But main reason is that there's a level of trust, right? If that's unedited, I'm not hiding anything. If I'm going out to a car and I show that I might not be the super knowledgeable about the car that I'm doing the walk around, but it's not edited, then customers trust it. It looks better. And overall, it just helps everybody.
Yeah. We have a similar philosophy, speed to market. I've built my channel based on that simple webcam. Hey, this is what we got going on. This is what we should look at. And it builds an essence of trust. And you can apply that not to just marketing for an agency. You can do it to the marketing for dealers. A dealer was asking me the other day, what can they do for video without it costing an arm and a leg? And the first thought is high production. Let's get a crew in here, this and that. I said, hang on a second. Why don't you spiff your top sales guys to do some really good walkarounds, and we use that as content. We put that on social, and we make a habit out of that. What about that? You lower your cost, you have better speed to market, your salespeople get to have fun a little bit in the downtime, and it helps create some buzz. So I hear you, and I agree.
Yeah, and right now, where we're at right now, which is January 2026, the field is still so wide open.
Big time.
Nobody's doing it. And by nobody, I mean maybe 1% are doing it, which means that if you just run with it, you're going to be ahead of your competition. Especially, like I'll give an example. There's a dealer group in my area that's overall, I think, is run really well. They have good reputation, but they have a policy that salespeople, they have like over 10 dealers, over 10 different roofs. And the policy is that salespeople are not allowed to post anything on social media. There's a team, it's a corporate team, and only the corporate people can record the video, and then the salespeople are allowed to use that. And I think it's such a waste of an opportunity, such a waste of just being a dealer in the community, introducing yourself, showing that you have real people working there, and it's not some kind of like AI build whatever nonsense.
Yeah, I do understand that, and I do agree with you. I see it from the dealers that too, because a lot of, certain salespeople, maybe they're a little more younger, youthful minded, they put out content and they're essentially representing the brand. And there needs to be a line. I see the most successful auto groups have some brand guidelines and they enforce them pretty hard for their salespeople that want to be social media influencers or this and that, but there needs to be a line of it. I understand where you're.
But I would ask, if you're that dealer, I will ask you, okay, you hired that person.
Yeah.
You trust that person to talk to your neighbor, to talk to a new mom that's about to buy a car for their family. So, and you don't trust that person to record and post a video?
Well, no, I would, if I'm the dealer, here's how I'd respond to that one. I would say, you know what? Yeah, I did hire this person, but I really don't know how they're going to behave until 60, 90 days throughout the process. So I think that the social media part should be something that's earned through the strength of the salesperson. I've seen it time and time again where a salesperson comes in for an interview, they speak well, they hire well, you hire them, and then you find out, unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of baggage with this person. And then if you give them a social platform to do it on, then, they might unintentionally put that out there. So I agree with you. Salespeople should not be prohibited to post content and things like that. I do, however, would say that it needs to be in some sort of controlled, earned way. You got to have someone that's earned the privilege to be able to do that. It shouldn't be somebody right off the street. Forgive my lack of professionalism the way I say it, but it should be an earned privilege. I think that would be a better integration of it, if I may. But I'm with you, because salespeople walk around videos, especially when you take a night. You know what the number one piece of video actually is that I've ever seen? It's a basic Mercedes-Benz. I think their system is MBUX, if it still is. I think it is. Mm-hmm. Their MBUX infotainment system, the best content piece that I've written still to this day is for a Mercedes store, Chicagoland area. It helped drive a bunch of new service customers, and it was a well-built out content page, meaning we had all the right keywords and all the right search terms and everything built on it. But what it had is an embedded video of a young, youthful salesperson. She went through the MBUX infotainment system of that current year. She explained it really well. It was exactly how you said. It was user-generated. There wasn't a lot of editing. It was just on an iPhone. It was well lit and just the basics, but it presented well. And that person was a concierge for that store that had been there for a long time. So she earned the privilege to be able to do it. And that performed the best because you provided value to the consumer. So I'm with you 100%. I think that salespeople, concierge, whatever you want to call them, depending upon your brand, should have that opportunity. I would just caution and say the ones that have earned it.
Well, I guess we're not, we're a little bit in disagreement here because, again, I would say that if I trust that salesperson to touch my $100,000 car and have access to thousands of customers in my database and financials and all those things, so that just goes back to hiring process.
Sure.
If you don't trust your salespeople to go on YouTube, then you need to rework your hiring process. And by the way, one of the tips that I tell everybody, and this is a free tip for hiring and recruiting, if you want a good social media creators, one of the steps in your recruiting process should be a video.
Yep.
Meaning they're going to have to send you a resume and they have to send you 1-minute video of themselves on any subject. Doesn't matter what it is, but just the fact that you're going to have people that will say, oh, no, I'm not getting in front of the camera, filtered out. Don't have to worry about that.
Love it. That's actually part of the way I hire for our company. You have to go through a set steps of criteria. So love it. Totally resonate.
Yeah, and just what you were saying about your most, the most successful content. Try to see if I can find it quickly. Maybe I'm on my YouTube studio on my old personal account. But quickly, the most popular video is, I think it's called RDS 310. And if I didn't have the video, I would have no idea what is it about. I would have forgotten completely. It was a entertainment system in a Volkswagen back in 2007, before navigations and before Bluetooth. And it's literally just like old school radio in the car. And up until this day, this is the most popular video that people watch. I have no idea why and who's watching it, but YouTube is paying me, so why not?
That's cool. I love it. Mico, this has been great. Thank you for taking the time, being patient with my tardiness a little bit, and I really like the collaboration. The way you think about things, your experience is a heck of a lot of value. If people want to find you and engage with your content, where can they find you?
YouTube. YouTube is always the best, the easiest. My original channel is just Mico Silver, and then I have the channel that I use right now with content for sales coaching and retail, digital retail management, and that's under Mico Auto Coaching. But just Mico Silver on YouTube, you're going to find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We'll end it here.
Thank you.